Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piroworski, coming to you live from the East Coast. It's the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most here on The Rundown. Two-way views, conservative news, and Craig, guess what day it is?
Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Who's ready? Oh.
Throw Punch Thursday, bitch.
All right, I have to admit the reason for the real quick delay was I realized I had queued up Hump Day.
Hump Day. Mike. Guess what day it is?
No hump day today. No hump day today. That was yesterday. Unfortunately, bruh man was caught out of the office, out of the studio, was not able to get back in time to do the show. But did y'all miss me? Did you miss us?
I missed you.
I know
Gotta
you did.
Re-zero my sights.
I know, because for once you were like right there, ready to do the show.
I was in the room waiting to go. Like, man, I got a day I could be there. No conflicts. Let's do this.
Let's do this, man.
They messaged me and said, can't do it. Stuck out of the house. And I was like, of course, because I'm sitting at the computer.
Right. But hey, we made it happen today.
That's right. We're going to do 3 shows today to make up for it.
Yeah, no, but okay. It'll be 3 times as entertaining. How about that?
I mean, that's easy for me. I don't know if you could do that, but we already
Well,
promised
that's
them.
the point of having you on the show. You're the entertaining one.
Yeah, gotcha.
So what are you sipping on? Oh, Popeyes. Oh, Mike partaking of the heathen chicken.
No, not the heathen chicken. I was coming back earlier today, and the evil asp spoke to me and said, stop at Popeyes. And I was like, I can go for some sweet tea. I went through the drive-thru and said, let me get some sweet tea. And the guy said, would you like a spicy fish sandwich? And I went, okay, I will. Because it's not chicken.
Okay, so you had the heathen. Is this your I have sinned moment?
I don't feel like I cheated on Chick-fil-A. I had fish.
Mm-hmm. That's like Bill Clinton's. Depends on what the definition of is.
I think it's a loophole.
Mm-hmm.
And they only serve chicken.
I did not have that heathen chicken.
That's right. I did not. Did not have the heathen chicken.
He just had the heathen everything else.
I had the spicy fish sandwich.
The spicy fish sandwich.
How many bones in a fish?
Well, I'll tell you what. When you get a chance, when you are at the great throne of judgment, you can answer for that one. I already know that I've got. I do the heathen chicken just about every time I get a chance to. So I just go to the Lord every Sunday and ask for repentance.
I had Popeyes about 3 hours ago. I've already sat at the throne since I had it. So just so we're clear. So.
Righty. I hear you, sir. Anyway, let's get rid.
The Popeyes about 80% grease is what it is. That's for sure.
It is definitely 80% grease. It's good grease though. It be good grease though.
Yeah, you got to get the heavy duty paper out for that one.
Yes, you do. All right, folks, let's go ahead and get into today's program, and we'll start it the way we usually do, and that is with a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Get on over there, get yourself some AR barrels. They got rifle caliber, pistol caliber. They've got everything you need for your next AR build or rebarrel your current AR platform. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. If you want the best in tactical concealed holsters on the market, get on over to hogholsters.com. That's HAWG holsters.com, hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. All one word, no spaces, all caps. Get yourself a nice little discount. And if you want the best in field gear, tactical gear, web gear, law enforcement, fire, security, EMS, whatever it may be, Get your group together, get your agency together. Place an order at uscombatgear.com, where you get everything except the gun.
That's right, folks. Please take a moment to visit our sponsors. All you have to do is follow the links in the description to this program. It'll take you right to their websites. Go there, check them out, spend some money with them, and make sure you tell them it was the guys over at the Rundown that sent you. Also want to remind you, if you're watching the program live, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, you're watching us live, which means we're taking your comments. Comments like Aubrey, who's watching us over on YouTube, made it a point to say we've had Republican president and a Republican majority in every branch of government for over a year. This is as good as things will ever get for conservatives. Yes, it is. And Audrey also goes on to point out that right now Democrats are 85% favorites to take over the House. Yeah, good luck with that. Keep doing the stuff you've been doing, and well, let's just put it this way. You ain't winning nothing. So, but hey, we appreciate you. And what I like about this comment is that she didn't worry about whether or not she agreed with us. And because, in disagreeing with us, she actually gave us the opportunity to mock her.
Oh, wow. Is that a mockingbird?
Man, is that a mockingbird? Is that a mockingbird?
State bird of Florida.
Sometimes it'd be like that. But Audrey, we very much appreciate you chiming in. We love to hear from folks who are watching the program. Like I said, I don't care if you agree with us. Just come correct. And if you don't, well, that's what happens to you.
It happens.
All right, let's go ahead and get into today's topics. And we're going to go ahead and start off here. There are some big things, some breaking news right now that's going on, but I wanted to kind of frame it, and I wanted to frame it in this number one thing. This is one thing to understand. Right now, Senate Democrats are continuing to fight against funding the Department of Homeland Security, even as threats are mounting here in the homeland. And right here is being reported by Politico. Senate, and they say Senate, what they really mean is Senate Democrats, reject DHS funding bill as shutdown nears 1 month mark. Democratic senators sought to pass a bill to fund specific agencies like TSA, the Coast Guard, FEMA, but Republicans objected. So in other words, they're not on Politico. They're not going to mention the fact that Republicans have a bill that's there to fund all of them. They just want to push certain groups because, well, they don't want to fund, the Department of Homeland Security. For the fourth time in so many weeks, senators voted down a bill Thursday to fully fund the Department of Homeland Security. Once again, that's a lie. If they picked out specific things, anyway, then left town for the weekend, ensuring the agency remains shuttered past the 1 month mark come Friday. The Senate voted 51-46 against moving ahead with the House passed measure to fund all DHS, failing to meet the 60-vote threshold necessary to move forward. Senate Majority Leader Thune voted no for procedural reasons, allowing him to bring the motion back up at a later date. So in other words, what they're pointing out here in this article is, first of all, I stand corrected in my initial assessment of their analysis. Republicans did push a bill. There was a vote to fully fund it. They voted no. Democrats want them to only fund like TSA. The things that people will notice are the things that Democrats are like, oh yeah, no, just fund that. But the problem is that Republicans are like, no, you're going to fund all of Homeland Security, everything that goes underneath it, including, by the way, those into the TSA and the folks that investigate things that are going on here in the homeland. And as threats are mounting, as we will soon discuss, Democrats are quite happy with us being less safe here in the United States.
Yeah, Craig, don't forget the part about where the Democrats bill has additional funding for healthcare, because that's what they're stuck on still. You got to give us money for healthcare. We already had this discussion. You lost. Move on.
Well, not just healthcare, but healthcare for illegal immigrants.
Yes. Thank you.
They got to make sure that funding is included. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, Craig, what threats are you referring to? Well, let's first of all, talk about the fact that just today, in fact, today alone, there have been two separate, well, at least one of them is a confirmed domestic terrorist attack. And I want to go ahead, and then the other one, we're not sure if it's a domestic terrorist attack. What we do know is an attack on a synagogue. And here are the news reports. Here's at least one of the news reports on what happened
at Temple, Israel, and they say a major scene was reported there. If you're familiar with the area, this is located on Walnut Lake Road. So a live look there thanks to our Fox 2 Detroit helicopter, as we see that there is some smoke there from a building, and that seems to be where the helicopter is concentrating this live look. It's a little hard to tell, but we do see that emergency responders are surrounding this building. According to Fox 2 Detroit, there is a threat underway at Temple, Israel there in Michigan.
So basically what happened is someone drove a truck into Temple, Michigan, into this temple, and they eventually encountered a security guard who shot. I believe they shot and killed them. They're not sure if anyone else is involved. So everything, at least at the time that I last looked, they were still kind of on shutdown. But clearly this was an attack on a synagogue. With everything going on, I would imagine it's not very far-fetched, Mike, to believe that this was they say ISIS, but I'm going to say an Islamic-inspired attack.
Yeah, it's either by the actual Islamic actors themselves, or somebody doing it on their behalf, or Craig, people on the left that have been pushed to do this. Right? We were told to take up arms, and so, like you said, inspired attack. So yeah, either way, this will turn out to be something that is here you go, caused by Democrats refusing to fund DHS.
Now, once again, same exact day, shooting at Old Dominion.
Is dead and two others are injured after, as you just heard about this a moment ago, a shooting at Old Dominion University. University officials say the gunman is dead. Authorities identify the suspect as Mohammed Jalloh. He was convicted in 2017 for providing material support to ISIS and released from prison in 2024. He was a naturalized U.S. citizen from Sierra Leone. And federal court records show Jalloh told confidential sources he had thought about carrying out an attack and knew how to use guns. Quote, during their meeting, Jalloh also told the CHS that he often thought about conducting an attack and that he knew how to shoot guns. Jalloh praised the gunman who killed 5 U.S. military members at a terrorist attack in Chattanooga, Tennessee in July 2015, and stated he had been thinking about conducting an attack similar to the November 2009 attack at Fort Hood, Texas, raising obvious questions about how this person remained a naturalized citizen in the United States.
Now think about that. Once again, by the way, there's one person dead, 2 people injured. This was an individual who, quite frankly, had expressed openly that they were okay with or considering acts of terror here in the United States. And once again, one has to wonder why is this guy why is this guy a citizen?
Well, if I had to guess, Craig, I'd say that this Old Dominion's in Virginia. Virginia is a sanctuary. They consider themselves sanctuary states, sanctuary cities, right? That the law enforcement there either chose not to or was ordered not to share that information with the federal government. Otherwise, we know that the Secretary of State, he's already made it clear, anybody finds to have statements and they're a naturalized citizen, they're revoking their citizenship and sending them away. So I'm going to just guess right off the top, Greg, because we don't have the facts. We're doing the guesswork right now, is that the law enforcement there in the sanctuary state of Virginia, never presented that information to the feds.
Well, no, see, the thing, Mike, is that what you have to understand, it's not the fact that he was a foreign citizen or he came from another country. It's not the fact that he was devoted to his religious faith of Islam. You have to understand the reason why this all happened, and you're just going to have to own this, Mike. It's because of the gun.
National sickness. We live in a country where people care more about guns than they care about 6-year-old children. They care more about guns than they care about synagogue worshipers. And they care more about guns than they do about college students. What that means is that it does not matter how hard President Hemphill works, how hard the chiefs work, somebody will be a victim eventually. It is a matter of time. And until there is the political will to break the spell of the cult of gun absolutism, you will see more incidents like this. So if you're looking for somebody to blame, don't look at anybody up here. Look at our lawmakers who don't have the courage to implement sensible gun control measures. Look to a Supreme Court that enables them, and do something about it. So that is the lesson. Let's mourn the people who have died. Let's decry what has happened.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm gonna guess that Ramin Fatahi. I'm willing to guess there's a reason why he's not pointing to radical Islam as the culprit.
Yeah, first off, what's with the little island thing of hair going on with this guy right here? I mean, just shave your head, bro. Get you got like this cone of hair in the back and this fluffy thing up. Just get rid of that. I mean,
it's a failed comb over. It's what it is.
It's not even enough to do a comb over. It's just like this little tuft he's got going on right here in the front.
It's like he couldn't decide that, okay, he's like, I'm going to do a comb over, but I'm not going to let it grow long enough to do the full comb over. So it's going to stop right about here.
You got the little Cupid doll thing going, like a little comma on the top of his head right there.
No, I'm looking at the replay right now, and like literally it was whoever cut his hair didn't let it grow long enough for him to do the full comb over. It's a failed comb over is what it is.
That's the bad DNA in this guy right there.
That's sad DNA.
He can't even get the DNA to grow his hair long enough to do a comb over. Craig, listen, how much do we have to point it out? That, it's the guns problem. Sure, it's the gun problem. It's the Virginia gun problem because you just took away, semi-automatic guns. You just took away magazines from the citizens there, so the citizens don't have the guns to protect themselves. But but this guy got a gun. It must be because we have bad gun control. We need common sense laws. The guy doesn't care about your laws. He broke your laws. He got your guns. He went and committed this crime. We need to be able to allow the citizens to get their guns. Hey, the guy's an idiot. It's pure and simple. It's proven in his sad DNA.
Well, but Mike, here's the thing that's missing that a lot of people haven't noticed in the stories. You realize that no one died in the synagogue shooting because there was a good guy with a gun. Right now, between you and I, Mike, dude was armed security. How much more training does armed security get than a concealed carry permit holder?
Oh, listen, most states, the security guard training is much less than 40 hours, and usually only half of that or less than half of that is on firearms training. So
it is the security guard training, because here in California, pretty much the trainers that I know, they literally have the security guard trainers sit in with the concealed carry folks, right? They get the same exact training that concealed carry permit holders get.
Yeah, California is similar because you've got that hours that mandated training of to carry a gun. We have that in the free states here, but yeah, it's not much. It's 8 hours or 16 hours of firearms training that they have to get, and it's basically, can you pull the gun out of your holster without shooting yourself? That's really what it comes to.
Well, here's what I will say. This is why I appreciate about a lot of the trainers here in California. If they realize they've got a class that's like pretty much people who've had their permits for a while, they spend a little bit of time refreshing them on the law, and then it just turns into a regular handgun class. So, they make sure you get the training that you need, that you understand what the new laws are and all of that. They make sure you do your firing requirements. You kill the paper. But they also though make sure that they make sure you're getting some value out of it. And that real value in this particular case is, some real substantive training on handgun use. So I will appreciate that. At least the trainers that I've used, that's how they've operated.
Yeah. Much the same here.
But yeah, Mike. So these are just two. But Mike, these are just two recent attacks. Keep in mind, you just had a couple of ISIS-inspired dudes throw homemade bombs at conservative. Well, I don't want to call them a race. I'm gonna call them racist protesters. I'm not gonna call them conservatives. But at the protesters who are protesting out in front of Mondami's house, the Supreme Leader of New York.
That's right. Yeah. Yep. Gracie Mansion.
Yeah. Yep. Did you catch that? I'm going to start to refer to Mamdani as the Supreme Leader of New York.
Facetiously, yeah, sure. We know who the Supreme Leader in New York is, and he lives in Mar-a-Lago. Yeah.
Yeah. It will be facetiously, but it will happen nonetheless. By the way,
Yeah.
speaking of the Supreme Leader, it appears, and I will say this facetiously, it appears that the Supreme Leader has finally come out of hiding and issued a statement. And this being reported by Fox News, let's just say he's issued a few threats to the United States.
And a Fox News alert because Iran's new Supreme Leader issuing his, his first public statement. It was a written message that was read by an Iranian state TV news anchor. Trey Inks. Let me hand it over to you while I cough, and you tell us what exactly happened. What did he say?
Yeah, Dana, good morning. We're just getting this in right now. On Iranian state media, a presenter read a new statement from Iran's new Supreme Leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, and Reuters is reporting a few highlights from those remarks, saying that the Supreme Leader said in the statement, "We believe in friendship with neighbors and only target the bases, and we will inevitably continue." That is not true. We know that many Gulf countries have had their residential and civilian infrastructure attacked. Now, Iran's new Supreme Leader in this statement goes on to say all U.S. bases should immediately be closed in the region, and those bases will be attacked. He also says in the statement, again, that was presented on state media, he does not appear in the statement, that he calls on unity among the people.
Now, I understand, Mike, that he also issued a threat that they were going to send drones to California, and I believe this image right here was the Trump White House response.
Yeah, I want to make sure they get it right. They said, listen, California's cool, just don't attack America.
Yeah, I just so you know, I happen to live in California. I resent this remark.
Hey,
I find this to be highly offensive. Just so you know, maybe let the president know. Yeah, don't send drones our direction.
Well, they plan on sending drones. They're just waiting for their order from Temu to get there.
Waiting on order from Temu. Okay, well, if they're Temu drones,
yeah,
we're pretty safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really concerned about attacks coming at us from Chinese attack drones. Although I will say this, if you are a drone operator in the state of California, I would not be messing around right now. I would put my hobby aside for a little bit.
Yeah, I'd probably keep it in the garage. Yeah.
I would definitely keep it on the ground because you might catch a hot one.
That's it.
Just saying.
In California, they just be throwing, basketballs and stuff out of right there. There's any guns there. So
exactly. Well, Mike, look, it's all about misrepresenting, or it's all about a big part of this is just people putting out bad information, in particular the media. A great example of that was CNN, and CNN decided you had that anchor who came out and basically said that when we were talking about the ISIS inspired bombers, an anchor came out and basically said on CNN that they attempted to throw the bomb at Mandami. Well, needless to say, they got drug over the rail. I mean, we're talking just drug throughout the media. So much so that the anchor actually had to issue an on-camera apology for misrepresenting what happened.
This morning, I issued a correction first thing in the morning on X for a mistake that I made in last night's show, but I also wanted to do so on air as well. I incorrectly said that the bombs that were thrown by ISIS-inspired suspects in New York over the weekend were directed at Mayor Mamdani. They were not. I failed to catch and correct that mistake in real time, and I take full responsibility for that. And while we do make mistakes, it is important to acknowledge and correct those errors when they happen.
Now, notice she didn't say who they were directed at, and that was anti-Islamic protesters.
What I heard her say was describing Mandami as they all look alike to her. That's what she said.
As what?
She thought it was Mandami. She said they all look alike.
Oh.
She said
they all look alike.
Mandami and his people all look alike. She thought they threw it at Mandami, but it was just another Middle Easterner. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know, man. I will just say this: the group that was protesting in front of the Gracie Mansion. I'm not an ally. I don't consider myself to be an ally of. I think that well, I think they happen to be racist. All that having been said, their concerns over the influence that Islam is having over government officials, I do believe is a legitimate concern. I believe it's a legitimate concern largely because, well, at least I believe in this particular case specifically, Mamdani has demonstrated that he's willing to ignore facts and reality in support of his Islamic faith, in as much is putting residents of New York at risk.
Oh, absolutely. We've seen that since, his day one there in office, that where his loyalties lie, so to speak.
Right. And once again, that is not racist. It may be anti-Islamist, but then again, I will challenge anybody to show me that the teachings of Islam as a whole, taken in full context, are not contradictory to many of the principles that we have here governing it within the United States, which has a government that's basically based on Judeo-Christian principles, individual rights, individual responsibility. And Islam does not believe in individual rights. They believe in group rights and group responsibility. And if an individual does not fall in line with that group responsibility, they lose their individual rights, in particular, their right to life.
Yeah, no disagreement here. That's much how it is. And again, they tend to, like you said, there's many similarities between the Quran. He's actually stopped and studied and looked at the Quran, and things like that we have in our the Bible. Things like eye for an eye. A lot of Old Testament stuff, Craig. They pull out and want to use it as current orders and initiatives. So they just wake up. It's been a couple thousand years since it's been written, and it's clearly got different chapters in it.
Right. And by the way, that is not to say that all Muslims are violent. That's not to say that they all wish death and destruction upon the West. The reality is that there are some people who, and once again, if you study the Quran, you study the teachings of Muhammad, there are multiple phases. And in one phase, it was very much about peace. It's very much about, but there's a progression, there's a movement there. And there are some people who, just like there are people like there are Christians who ignore the Old Testament and act like it doesn't even exist and don't put it in the full context of the Bible. There are people who ignore parts of the Quran because it's not in line with what they want to believe or what they know to be right. And, they're not wrong in that it's not right. But having said that, you can't ignore that it's there either.
Yeah. And listen, Christianity has the same, right, Craig? I mean, we have, radicals there as well. I mean, the Branch Davidians were all Christians. Jamestown was all Christians.
I would prefer to say that they perverted the Bible as opposed to, but you're right. Yes, there are people who will use religious books, no matter what the religious book is, to explain their depravity and their violence.
Right. There you go.
So trust. Morbidly obese Pete Hegseth denies any knowledge of what happened to leftover lobster for the troops.
Listen, the joke in the military is, Craig, if you show up at the chow hall and there's steak and lobster tails, get your bag ready. You're going.
Get your bag ready. You're going. Okay.
That was it. That was always, that was 100% of the time. That was crap. We're getting deployed tonight.
Okay, here's another one. Democrats expel Fetterman after repeatedly warnings to stop supporting America.
Listen, if this guy could find a shirt and a tie, we'd take him in the Republican Party right now.
I would completely agree. Now we got Democrats condemn Hegseth for using money to feed soldiers when it could have gone to a Somali daycare.
Listen, if we fund those Somali daycares, then that would solve the health crisis.
There you go. And then finally, Iran cancels plan to attack California after seeing Gavin Newsom already destroyed it.
It's again, this is Babylon B, fake news you can trust right there.
Fake news that you can trust. It is amazing because I really do think that they are reality is as funny or at least as accurate as the things that they report.
Yeah.
You could literally do probably a comparison, like a competition where you're like, okay, is this true? Is this true? Or is this the Babylon Bee?
Yeah. Well, listen, that's why they put like National Enquirer out of business, right? Because their stories, their fake stories were too real.
Exactly. All right, folks, that brings us to the end of our program. But before we go, we're going to give one more quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yep. Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Check these guys out. They got, and girls, guys and girls. They got AR barrels that you can get with rifle caliber, pistol caliber, any length you desire. They also have barrels for other rifles, other shotguns, other pistols, everything you might need in the barrel department. They've got. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly, fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. They can take part in California's future today. And if you want the best in field gear, technical gear, web gear, law enforcement, self-defense gear, prep gear, whatever you may need, get your group together, get your agency together. Place an order at uscombatgear.com where you can get everything except the gun.
Once again, folks, please take a moment. Visit our sponsors. All you have to do is follow the links in the description of this program. Go there, check them out, spend some money. It was the guys over at the Rundown that sent you. And that is going to be it for today's program. We will be back tomorrow on Free for All Friday. Till then, y'all have fun, stay safe, and we will see y'all mañana.